Quantum Break. That's my movie voiceover guy voice. Hope you like that. Hey guys, how's it going? This is Pixel Freaks. So it's out, it's here, finally, Quantum Break. It's the big budget, blockbuster, AAA game the Xbox One has been waiting for from Remedy Games. But does it reach the heights of a real system seller, a true killer app for the Xbox One? Let's find out. So it's developed by Remedy, the geniuses behind Alan Wake and Max Payne, and published by Microsoft, quite clearly published by Microsoft, as it seems the case that in Quantum Break you can only be allowed a Microsoft Surface tablet or a Microsoft Lumia phone. Just a quick negative to bat out the way first. It's a minor thing, but I found it was a little bit grainy. You can probably see it now. It was kind of grainy, and especially when it got darker, you just this kind of fuzzy, grainy effect that they must have been going for on purpose. But I tried changing around the visual settings in the options menu. I couldn't really get rid of it. It was just a minor annoyance for me, but it wasn't really a big deal. I got used to it in the end. But they could have probably toned it down just a little bit. So just quickly, what's it about? So Quantum Breaks, it's an action-adventure sci-fi third-person shooter game. The game's main protagonist is Jack Joyce. You're trying to stop Paul Serene. He's like a close friend of Jack's, and he's the CEO of this big corporation called Monarch Solutions. So Jack's trying to stop Paul from enforcing the end of time from a failed time machine experiment, which in turn gives Jack his superhuman-like time manipulation powers. The developers have clearly pushed a lot of their investment into the storytelling. At the end of each act, you've got a half-hour episode of the Quantum Break TV show, which ties into the game story, and actually, when you play the game, you have an effect on the outcome of the TV show, which is a cool idea. It's a really fucking cool idea. And I can see real potential with that format. I mean, it was a risky move doing the TV show game combination thing, because if either the game or the show was poor, you'd sort of disconnect from it a bit. Luckily, both the game and the show are good enough so that they complement each other. You have a vested interest in the game, so you enjoy the show more, and vice versa. But yeah, I mean, it's good enough. I did watch every episode, but I was thankful that there are only 4 of them. I mean, if this was its own TV show on TV, I'd have given up first episode, second episode in probably. I wouldn't have watched anymore. It's not bad by any means, and the acting's actually quite good. It's just, yeah, meh. And actually, to be honest, I feel the exact same way about the story of the game itself as I felt about the TV show part of it. It's just a bit weak. I didn't feel connected to the characters all that much. I didn't feel like I was really grasping the story, and I didn't feel like I was following it, or like I wanted to follow it, more importantly. Basically, I couldn't give a monkey's ass about any of the characters. Let's focus on the game more. The game itself is fucking good. In places, my jaw was on the floor. Seriously, the visuals are stunning. There's these little set pieces throughout the game that are just, they blow you away. Like this bit where this huge truck plows through the side of the bridge, and it's like flying towards you, and it suddenly pauses in front of you, and you're like, oh shit, this looks good. And that's another thing, it does take a long time to get into it, really. I felt by maybe Act 2, Act 3 was when I was really starting to enjoy it the most, because by then you'd unlocked the powers, all of your superpowers were at your disposal, and that's when it got the most fun. It did take a long time to get into it and unlock those powers. Obviously you don't want them all at the same time, because then it'd get boring quick, so I see what they were doing, and you want to be able to get used to controlling each one, which is obviously makes sense, but it did take a long time to really get into its stride. But when it does, guaranteed you'll be like, fuck, this is cool. And it has a lot of those moments where it's just fun as fuck to play, where it feels genuinely awesome to play. You can see the amount of effort they've put into the production. It's oozing with it. So those are really the best things Quantum Break's got going for it. The visuals, the production, and the gameplay mechanics as well. It feels fun to play, so for me, it's got to be a good game. If it feels fun, then it has to be, right? Oh, and the audio itself is really good as well. The music's good, and the actual sound effects are great. When you fire a gun, you know, when you got that feeling in a shooting game where it feels good to fire the weapon, Quantum Break does that well. We're on to the bad now, where there isn't anything particularly bad about Quantum Break by any means, but there's things that do fall short. As I said, the story just doesn't quite get up to where I felt it could have gone, but that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. The story has its good moments. There are these interesting ideas where you'll not only play as Jack, but you'll play as Paul, the bad dude, Paul Serene. And you come to these, what they call junctions in the game, where you have to make a decision as Paul, but it will affect the entire story for when you play as Jack, sort of thing. So it's an interesting way of doing it, because you've got to decide, do I do this, do I do that, because it's going to affect how I play as Jack. But you don't want to be doing that because you're playing as Jack, right? But no, you're playing as Paul, so it fucks your head a little bit. It's an interesting way of telling the story from two sides. One of the biggest bad points, actually, I haven't mentioned this yet, there's barely any weapons in it. I mean, you get like 4 slots in your weapon inventory, so you've got like the whole D-pad thing. You choose left, right, up or down. In fact, you don't even choose up, just got left, right and down. You don't get grenades for some reason. I felt they could have done something cool with grenades with the whole time control thing, but they don't. And they could have just added a bunch of weapons. So you've got down arrow is your pistol, and you've got a few different pistols that you can pick up in the game. You've got like a basic pistol, a burst fire pistol, and a heavy pistol, I think it was called. No others, that was pretty much it, I think. And then you have like your automatic weapons and your shotgun, or like a long range sniper kind of thing. But there wasn't many. I thought there was going to be a ton more. There was space for loads more, and you just felt like you're picking up the same old weapons over and over again. I felt they were just a little lazy on that department. And yeah, I encountered 1 or 2 bugs. But nothing too major, and the game did crash maybe once. I had to just restart it, but it does have an auto-save feature, and you don't ever have to go back very far if that does happen. There's a couple of little honourable mentions before we get to the end of the review. They've got these little videos scattered through the game which refer to the Alan Wake universe. That was kind of cool, I thought. And a nifty little option that you can change is you can disable copyrighted music, which is great for streamers and vloggers and things. It's nice that they've thought of those guys, and will probably get overlooked by a lot of people, but it's good to see that they've made the effort to do that, so they deserve some credit for that. So that's it, we've come to the end of the Quantum Break review. Does it live up to the hype? Is it the Xbox One's killer app, a real console seller? I'm not so sure. But is it a must-own game for the Xbox One and PC? Yes, it is. So the final score for Quantum Break. I almost gave it a 9, but having slept on it, I have to settle with an 8. But it is a must-own 8. The good points far outweigh the bad. So there we have it. It's a Pixel Freaks 8 out of 10. Please click subscribe to see more content. Thank you for watching. See you next time.